Okay, so once you've got that AutoCAD open, you should have this little window pop up. Okay, this will happen sometimes when you get drawings from other people. One of the things that, especially people that do a lot of really complicated drawings in AutoCAD will use references, and references or blocks or things like that involve inserting one drawing file into another drawing file. And sometimes the way that happens is it creates a symbolic link, and it doesn't actually copy the data into that file. It just knows where the file was on your computer. So you'll get a message sometimes about that, about missing references, which is not what this is, but that's another pop-up you get. This one is about supported objects, and that's just because this was maybe created in a previous version of AutoCAD, or there's some properties or something that got in. It doesn't really matter. You don't need to worry about this. It doesn't actually matter what you click on this thing. I usually just say, just don't show them. If you don't support them, it's no big deal. So just click that and then you move on. Now, what you have in front of you here is the actual CAD source file for that 2008 draft of the USITT drawing guidelines. Okay, so this is the CAD file that was made to publish that PDF. Okay, and I'm giving that to you for a specific reason, because today I want to teach you about some of the drawing aids in AutoCAD. And let me pull up my notes here. Go to the other side here. Well, I'll do it here. So all those things I had you turn off last time, we're going to turn them on now. So the first one you're going to want is polar tracking. Go ahead and turn that on. That's the one that looks like Pac-Man. The one next to it, which is like the plus sign and then the little box underneath of it, that's called dynamic input. Go ahead and turn that on. Make sure that object snap tracking is turned on and object snap is turned on. Let's go and turn all those on. And these are the commands I want to teach you today. Copy, move, trim, extend, and mirror. Okay? And I'm going to teach you about object snap and object snap tracking. So the last assignment I gave you, I said, you can't touch your mouse to draw any lines, right? That was one of the parameters. You can only use the command line. No copy paste. You had to totally coordinate input and everything. This is like the exact opposite. So this assignment, you will not draw a single line. Okay? You are going to recreate this drawing, but you will not draw any of these lines. Okay? So you are not going to use the line command, you're not going to use the circle command, you're not going to use the rectangle command, you are not going to draw any of these lines. Okay? You're going to create this entire drawing using these commands: copy, move, trim, extend, mirror. And you're going to make it look like this drawing using object snap and object snap tracking, which are some drawing aids in AutoCAD. Let me demonstrate. So object snap. If you go over here and hover over the object snap icon on the bottom right, right-click on that, this little pop-up menu will show up. And it'll tell you all the different kind of snap points that are available in AutoCAD. And these object snap points is how you can achieve precision in your positioning and alignment and clicking with your mouse. Okay, because the mouse is this very imprecise tool, at least from an AutoCAD point of view. because the mouse doesn't know where XY is. And if you're not careful, you can just click anywhere in the AutoCAD model view, whether that's a number that makes any sense or not. But Object Snap allows your mouse to snap to parts of objects and lines that have already been drawn, so that you know for sure that you've clicked exactly on the end of that line. Okay? You don't have to guess. You know for sure that when you hit click, you clicked on an exact spot, that you know definitely it was that spot and not like 0.0035, on the X next to it, right? Object Snap will force you to click exactly on the line, which is super helpful. And you can kind of decide what kinds of things do you want to be able to snap to, okay? I would say endpoints, midpoints, center points are essential, so make sure those are turned on. Nodes are important. I would also, for purposes of this assignment, maybe even turn on quadrant snapping. So click on that. The others, insertion and apparent intersection, are probably on. You can leave those on if you want, or turn them on. I don't know how useful those will be for this assignment, but you'll see. But at least make sure you got endpoint, midpoint, center, node, and quadrant.
So you don't need extension or intersection?
No, I don't think so.
Oh wait,
If they're on, will it mess us up?
Well, this is the thing, is the more of these you turn on, the more things your mouse is going to start snapping to when you start moving it around. And that can get annoying. So if you have them all turned on, it's like, I want to snap to this, but not that, and it's trying to snap to 3 things that are in that general vicinity. So sometimes you may need to like turn off things, because it's like, no, I'm trying to get to the end point, but it's trying to like instead snap to this other thing that's right by there. Turn on the ones you need, turn off the ones you don't need. All right, so let me show you how that works. So let's zoom in over here. And I'm going to select this equipment device thing. So I'm going to just do a right drag select to select everything that's inside of that. Okay. Now, let's say I need this symbol in my drawing. Okay. So once this is selected. Yeah. So remember when we learned about selecting that you basically click, release, and then you can either drag right and it turns blue, or you can drag left and it turns green. If you go right, the blue means it'll only select everything that is completely contained inside that box. If you go left, it will select anything that is even partially contained inside the box. So see here, it's going to select that border, even though I haven't drug all the way around that whole border. But if I go here, it only selects the things that completely fit inside of there.
So it's not going to get the U.
Right.
From where you were at. Okay.
Yep.
And then right click to.
No, left click again. Stop. Right. You can now the thing I want to show you is the copy command. Okay. And you can select first, or you can select as part of the copy command. I'll show you both ways. So I've got it selected already, and I'm going to do copy, which is CO, enter. And it now says that dynamic input that we turned on, it has now moved the prompts that are down here in the command line, it has now moved them up so you can see them right next to where your crosshair is, which saves you a little bit of like looking up and down. So it'll move up next to the thing what you're supposed to do right now. And what it says is specify base point, or there are some options. But the base point is where in the XY coordinate system do you want the copy to happen, or to begin? Because copying things in AutoCAD says move it from here to there. But it's really specifically saying move it this far in this direction on the XY coordinate system is actually what it's asking. And so normally it's going to be move it from here to there. But as you will see, sometimes you can say it's not necessarily here to there, just move this thing this far in this direction. I'll show you the difference. But with object snap tracking, object snap, now what I could do is, my base point is going to be the top left corner of this thing. And with object snap turned on, see how it like went and highlighted that endpoint with a little green square, and my crosshair snaps to it?
Yes.
Does that work for you guys?
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, turn on your object snap. Let's turn it on. The one next to it. Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
So now.
All of these settings, do they apply for?
No, object snap tracking is something different. So we'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
So now if you hover over it, you should.
Thank you.
Okay. So when you see that, there's two things that happen that that help you know you've done it. One is your mouse will usually, your cursor will usually go bang. You'll hear it, you'll see it kind of jump right there. But the other thing that happens is you'll see that little green box that is the symbol for endpoint snapping. So I've snapped to the endpoint of that line. And so while I've snapped there, I can just click. And okay, that's the origin. That's where I'm going to start from. Now look what happens. If I move my mouse, now I'm taking this thing with me. Okay? Now watch what happens. I'm going to now you're going to understand why I made you buy a mouse. Okay? Now scroll out and now click with the scroll wheel, pan the thing down, and look, it's still holding it. Okay? And with the object snap tracking, or the polar tracking, it's going to let me go straight down in a perfect vertical line. It'll tell me when I've snapped to vertical. Right? So I know I'm dropping it exactly down vertically. Now maybe I don't, maybe that doesn't matter. And if it doesn't matter, you can put it anywhere you want. Okay? But let's say I want to go exactly down, and I'm going to snap to that polar tracking, and you take it down to where you want it. And then it says, and the next thing is specify the second point, and the second point is there, and that's where it is. Now guess what? You're still in the copy command. So it's still got that with you, okay? And you can, if you want to do another one, you can do another one. You keep going and going and going. And when you're done, you can right click or you can escape. If you right click, you have to select enter, or you can escape to get out, or you can hit enter to get out. But anywhere, you have to get out of the copy command to do this, okay?
That's crazy.
I know, right? Okay. So, all right, so there's your first like copy command. You see how that works? Now, let's take a look at our drawing here. What I need to do is I want to make this thing. And it is a standard device, but it's just really tall. See how it looks? So how do I do that? Well, what are the commands you're allowed to use? Oh yeah. So I need to make this really tall. And here's the way I want you to get used to doing that. If you select this rectangle here, you've got that. There's this weird draggy thing that AutoCAD will now let you do, where you can like actually click and drag on this thing, and you can do this sort of thing. Don't do that, okay? Because it's too easy to make your thing skiwampus, okay? What you're going to do instead, I'm going to teach you one more command that you are allowed to use, and it is called explode. We're going to blow up this rectangle, okay? So while it's selected, literally type the word explode. Enter.
And select just the rectangle?
Yeah, or have the rectangle selected ahead of time. Either way.
But like not the text or the...
No, just that rectangle. And what you'll see is now it has turned that rectangle into 4 individual lines. Okay? Yes?
Sorry, I just remembered this from the assignment. I think one of my rectangles I made with lines instead of actually using the rectangle tool.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I did that for all of the ones on my first
Yeah.
one, forgetting that the right command existed.
What's that?
If you draw it in lines, is there a way to opposite explode?
There is. There is.
Okay.
There's a couple of ways to do that. But we're not going to talk about that yet. But don't worry about that. The real advantage of the rectangle is just if you have to select it, it's easier because you're only selecting one thing instead of four things. And so, but ultimately it doesn't really matter unless that selecting thing is important to you. But now that this is exploded, I can do something else now. So now we're going to learn the move command. Okay, so type move, M-O-V-E.
Does it matter if it's not going into that command line and it's going like with a little box?
Did you turn on the dynamic input?
I did.
Okay, yeah, so that's fine.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't know like what that meant.
Yeah, that's dynamic input. That's what moves the command prompt up to next where you're looking, which is where your crosshair is. It just saves you a little bit of like up, down, up, down, up, down. Like,
I didn't know if it was like a different kind of.
no, it's just a feature, so that it saves you a little bit of time. Okay, so I'm going to type move. I believe you can also do M-O, or just M, yeah. And so I purposely didn't select it first. So I type move, enter, and it says, okay, the first thing you need to do is select an object. Okay, so I'm going to just select that bottom line. And then hit enter. Now it says specify the base point, which is like, again, where do I want to start from? I want to start from there, that midpoint. Okay? And then you're going to take it and go ahead and zoom out and move it down and use the polar tracking to make sure you're staying on a vertical there. And take it down this, a little ways. You can move it again later if it ends up needing to be taller again. But just move it down a little ways and then click for the second point, and now it's down there. Okay, does that work?
Do you extend the sidelines to like?
Yes. So now we're going to finish this off using extend. So type EX, enter. And it says, now here's how I want you to lock this into your memory of the way the extend command works right now is it will try to infer where you want to extend to. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but let me show you what it's going to try to do. Is if I just click or hover over the end of this line on the right, it's going to look and see what's below there in the direction of that line that I could possibly be trying to extend to. It's going to guess. And in this case, it's guessing right. But it's not always going to guess right. And so what I would like for you to do is get into the habit of doing extend, and then if you look down the command line, you have this option of boundary edges, crossing, mode, project. Get used to doing this B, enter for boundary edges. Select the actual thing that you want it to go to. And now enter. And now you can go ahead and boom, boom. And then you know for sure that it went to the thing that you wanted it to go to and that it didn't guess wrong. And in a complicated drawing, that's going to be really important. In this drawing, we knew it was guessing right to begin with, but when you get a lot of lines going, sometimes it might be like, oh, you want to go here? No, I want you to go to the thing past that.
You do boundary.
Yeah.
Marker,
Yep.
And then you select each point.
Yep. So now I've done it, and then I hit enter to get out of the command. And now that's bigger now. Okay? So now I need to clean this up a little bit, because if we look at our example, my inputs are spaced out a lot more than they are in this drawing. This one, they're really close together, right? but here they're farther apart. And they're farther apart because of these other things here that I'm going to put in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to delete the 2 and the line. So just select those, hit E, enter for erase, and you get that out. Okay? And now I need to go get that wireless thing. So I need this, I need to go find that.
Jason?
Yeah.
I have a question. So sometimes when I'm doing the little like, should I select stuff, instead of it being a square, it's like a weird shape.
That's because you're holding your mouse down when you're doing it.
Oh.
So you click release, then you drag around, and then click release. Okay? All right, let's go find that wireless mic. Where is it? Ooh, there it is right there. Okay, see this? That's the symbol I need. So I'm going to go and I'm going to select this whole thing. And then I'm going to say CO enter for copy. Now in this case, I want to, the origin, I want to grab the end of this line. Because this is the line that I want to have connect to the other symbol that I copied down there, right? You see what I'm snapping to? So that's going to be my base point. So I click there, and now I'll go down. Okay, now watch very carefully, because in the source drawing, this is not right here next to the box, is it? It's a little ways away. So this is where we're going to get object snap tracking. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to hover over the end of that line until it snaps. And then I start moving to the left. And it is going to track me perfectly horizontal from that point to make sure I stay lined up. Okay? And I'm going to take it out about as far as I think it's going to be. And I'll hit click.
Did you? Oh, never mind.
And then go ahead and enter to get out of it. And I kind of eyeballed that, but you know, you can go back and look and you'll see eventually if you got it right. If you need to move it, you can move it. But this will be fine for now. And now what I can do is, anybody guess what I'm going to do now?
Extend.
I'm going to extend this line out to the other one, right? So I will extend boundary, that, and oops, it doesn't like that boundary.
Just to confirm, so I do extend, enter, boundary, then click.
Here, I'll do it. So EX, enter.
Yes.
B, enter for boundary. And then you click on the boundary. The boundary is the box. Okay? Or the line that's on the box. So I click that, enter. And now click the line you want to extend, and it'll go there. And then you can hit enter to get out of the command. Now, what happened is it went through that little tiny line over there. Yes?
Maybe I did it wrong, but when I try to click line, it says path does not intersect with the bounding edge.
What line are you clicking on? The
The
purple one or the green one?
The purple.
The green one is what we want.
For the boundary, right?
Yeah.
That's what I clicked for the boundary.
So let's do it again. EX, enter.
Yes.
B, enter. And now watch. Look at me. Click on the green line. And now enter. And now go over and click the red line.
Yes.
Click,
Okay. Yeah.
enter, and it goes out.
Why do you hit the green line for boundary instead of the purple line?
Because the little purple line is technically not a boundary. It's the end of another line. And it's looking for a perpendicular kind of thing. Okay? So here's what we're going to do now. Now I can get rid of it. I know that little tiny line is there, even though it's on top of the other one. So I'm just going to go ahead and select it. So I'm going to do a blue drag right to make sure I just get that little extra line that I don't need to have be there anymore. and then hit E-enter to erase it. Okay? Everybody with me? Now I need a whole bunch of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy. So CO, enter. And I'm going to select everything. You might need to do a couple little drags to get everything. I just want the one. I don't want the input label. I want the red line, and I want the whole thing. So once you got all that selected, and hit enter, and now it says base point. Now here's where I wanted to go on base point. I want to go up here to the top left corner of the transmitter, because I need to space these apart appropriately. So I click on the top left corner of that transmitter, and now I'm going to polar track straight down until that spacing looks about the way I want it. That looks about right. So now I'll click and then enter to get out of it.
What is your reasoning behind making the choices for the base point?
Because I'm interested in the spacing here between the top one and the copy of it below. And so I want to click on the top of that box so that when I'm moving it, where I'm dragging it to is where the top of that box is going to end up in the copy, and then I can see that, I can know that that spacing is what I want it to be. It would work if you snap to the bottom of it too, but then at least like my mouse is next to the place where it's going to end up going, and that makes more sense to me.
Can you do the word title? Or is that just
The labels have different snap points because text is weird in AutoCAD. So yeah, I would not try to make a habit of trying to snap to text. Okay? Yes?
Are we gonna learn about text today?
No.
Are we, in the drawing, it has the numbers is like 1, 2, et cetera, but when
It
we
doesn't.
copy- It doesn't?
No.
Oh, I thought it did. Oh, it is all just 1.
Yeah.
But why is it 1 and not like 1, 2, 3?
Because I don't want you to draw any lines or edit any text. I want you to create this entire drawing using copy, move, trim, extend, mirror. Those
You
are,
haven't taught us mirror.
I haven't yet, but I will in a moment. Okay, so now I want to show you how the copy works if you're not just copying from here to there. Because now what I want to do is I want to make a whole bunch of these like mic, transmitter, receiver combos, and I want to make sure that they are all spaced apart the same way that these two are spaced apart. I don't want to have different spacings, because that would drive me nuts, and I will give you a hard time about it. And that would drive Emma nuts. And I don't want that for either of us, okay? So here's how we're going to make sure that all, however many of them there are exactly spaced apart the same way. I'm going to select the second one. Make sure I get the whole thing in there. Okay? And now I'm going to do copy, so CO, enter. And the base point is very important here. Watch what I do. I'm going to say the base point is the end of that line. Click. And the copy to, or the second point, is the second line. Boom. And now I just moved it exactly the same amount as I moved it before. And now look, I can keep clicking on those new lines that get copied. And I can just keep on going as many times as I want until I've got all the ones I need. And every time I'm doing it, it is being spaced perfectly apart every single time. See that? So let's say that's how many I wanted. I stopped there. I went past my box. No big whoop. I'll just make the box bigger. All right, did that work for everybody?
Yes.
Yes. So let's now move the bottom of my box So I'm going to go ahead and hit M, enter, select the bottom line, and I will snap to the end of that line. Now watch this. I want, because it would drive me nuts if this isn't right, I want the bottom of this box to line up with the bottom of this last receiver. So I'm going to take that line, I'm going to snap to the bottom corner of that, and then I'm going to track over from that until it snaps both vertically and horizontally, and then I click. And now I know it's perfectly aligned, and I don't have to guess. Yes?
If we didn't go past the box, do you want us to go past the box to do what you just did?
I don't understand the question.
Like, when I was seeing my copies, I didn't go past the box.
Oh,
Just
that's fine.
now.
That's fine. I'm trying to show you how to do that tracking over. I mean, you can do however.
Okay, so we missed the
Yeah,
one.
yeah. So now I can do my extend boundary, click that, and then extend, and now my box is back, enter, and then I'm back the way it was. And now I've got all those copies, and they are all spaced apart exactly the same way, and I know it for sure, and everything's cool. You with me so far?
Did you have 2 points?
For what now?
No, you have 1 snap track thing, right? You only select 1 and it's the bottom corner.
Yeah.
So you select the midpoint and then that snap.
No. So let me show you. Okay, everybody just watch me do it, okay? So I'm going to move, M, enter. I'm going to select the line, enter. My base point is going to be that corner. Okay, now I'm going to go over. I'm going to snap to that. And then drag, and you'll see that that dotted line starts going. And then when it snaps vertically, see, it went to that end point. I didn't like that, so I'm going to try it again. Go from here, there, click.
Okay. I think I was missing the base point.
Yeah. And then I do extend, boundary, that, enter, click, click, done. Now, just as a gee whiz, what would happen if I didn't get in the habit of doing the boundary thing? So if I do extend, and I just do this, look, it'll try to snap just to that purple line.
Yeah.
And that would be super annoying.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, no, I want you to go to the green line. This,
Couldn't you just do extend again? And it
yes, you could do extend again, but then, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But imagine you had to go through like 20 lines to get to the one you're looking for. Now you're clicking 20 times when you could have just clicked twice, right? So I'm going to hit B, enter, click on the line I want to go to, enter, and then extend, and enter. And yes, that was a few more clicks, but if I had to go through 20 lines, I would have saved myself a lot of clicks. Okay, so just get that muscle memory of doing that boundary edge. Okay. There's 2 more commands I need to show you. One is trim. And let me see if I can find a reason to trim something.
You can also just make up the reason.
Yeah, no, I want to find a real one, though. What's a real reason? Okay. So you're not allowed to draw any lines for this assignment. Okay? So let's say I'm going to do this bottom part here. Okay? So I need 3 of those Ethernet things. This will be how I'll teach you both trim and mirror. Okay? So I need to do that, but I can't type those labels, and I can't draw any of those lines. So I need to go and find that in the example somewhere. Okay, there. See that? So I'm going to go ahead and select the label and the vertical line. And I will copy. And I will base point using the origin of, will be this, the midpoint of the bottom of that thing there. And now I'll go down here and I will snap it to that same midpoint of this bottom thing and click. And there it is. Now, I also need another one. So I'm going to now do a snap and track to the left here until I get a good vertical spacing, or horizontal spacing. And then I'll click. And now I'll be done with that command. Now, I need another one on the other side here. And it's going to drive me nuts if the other one is not exactly the same distance from the middle as this one is. Right? That would be super annoying if it was. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use mirror. So you're going to do MI, enter. Select the objects that you want to mirror. I want to mirror these, this label and that line. So select those, hit enter. Specify the first point of the mirror line. I'm going to use that middle purple line as my mirror line. So the first point is that. Second point is that. Click. And it's going to ask you, do you want to erase the source object? No. So, which is the default, so you just hit enter. And it just went over to the other side exactly the same way.
It's crazy that it doesn't actually mirror them.
Yeah.
You know, that's cool.
So
Yes.
you MI enter, then select Ethernet in the line.
Yeah, let me show you again. So MI enter. And then I'm going to select the label and the line that I want to make a copy of. And then enter. And then the first point of the mirror line is going to be the top of this middle line. And the second line is going to be the bottom of that middle line. Boom.
Oh.
Does mirror only work on horizontal planes?
You can also mirror vertically if you want.
If we had tried to mirror the objects that we had copied 1,000 times, that wouldn't have worked.
You can. So let me show you. Let me find something here. I don't know why you would need to do this, but why not? So let me get this, for example. And I'm just going to take this down here. And let's say I wanted to make an upside down version of this that was somewhere else. So I'm going to do MI enter. I'm going to select it, enter. And then my mirror line, I don't have one to reference, so I'm just going to infer one. So I'll go here, there, no.
Okay, so it'll actually flip the symbols, but
Yeah.
not the words.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So it wouldn't have.
It knows that you don't want upside down text.
So mirroring works as like a copy for words, almost.
Works for anything.
But
Yes,
if you tried to copy a symbol, it would flip it.
yeah.
Okay.
So it literally mirrors the symbols and everything else, but the words stay the same. Cool.
Yep.
That makes sense. That's smart.
Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I need to look here at my drawing. And so I need to create these other lines. So let me go and I'm just going to go and find a long line somewhere. Well, I guess I could use this one. So I'll select that line. I just need a horizontal line somewhere. So I'm select it. I'm going to copy it. And I will grab it there. And I'll put that there. And that'll be fine. And then I can take this one, make another one over there.
Wait, what did you just do?
I just took it again and put it over there. Made a copy of it and put it over there.
Oh, okay, so.
And I'm still not getting trim. I need to figure out a reason. I know there's plenty of reasons why you need to do trim in this drawing, but I need to find an actual one that I can show you. Yes.
We're gonna like recreate this in a separate document than like USIT.
No, you're going to do it exactly the way I'm doing it right now.
No, I know that, but I mean like, you want us to do it in the guidelines page?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So then we'll just submit that page and our thing will be like at the bottom.
Yep. Okay, I see one. All right, so let's say I want to do this thing here, where I got these lines going out here, and then they get cut off by that. So let me go get a line. I'll get this long line here. So I'll grab that, and I'm going to put it over here, and I will snap track off of this so I know it's lined up with that. I click, and there it is. And then I need to go and find a diagonal line like that. Where is a diagonal line I can use?
There's some over by the,
I could use this.
yeah.
I could use that. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to use the midpoint of this line. Okay, so I'm going to snap to the midpoint of this little diagonal line. And I will snap it to here, the midpoint of that long line that I did. So I end up with something that looks like that. Everybody got something that looks like that? Okay. So what I now need is I need this line to end at that little diagonal line. So I'm going to use trim. So TR, enter. And I want to, this is another one where I need you to like get this muscle memory of, it will try to guess what you're going to trim to. And if I just hover over the line there, it's going to think, oh, well, maybe you want to get rid of everything up to that edge. But again, maybe it's not. Maybe you've got a lot of other things there. So you want to do T, because you see at the bottom it says cutting edges, crossing, mode, project, erase. And you see how there's a capital T in cutting?
Yes.
That's not just a mistake. The capital T is meant to tell you that if you type T, enter, then you will be in cutting mode. Okay? So I do T, enter, and I will select that diagonal line. Enter. And now, if I click on the line, I will know for sure that it cut to that spot. And then enter. There, I've trimmed. Okay, so if you got to make lines longer, you extend. If you need to make them shorter, you trim. Okay, and if you have to like go get a line, like let's say I want this line to be shorter, right? I'm going to go steal a vertical line from somewhere, like here. So I'm going to get this vertical line, and I'm going to take it down here, and I'm going to put it where I want this other one to end, which is there, and then I will trim to it. And then I can get that and I can erase it. Okay? See how this is going to go? All right. So let's review. Here's the new commands: copy, move, trim, extend, mirror. I've now shown you what they all do. You're going to utilize object snapped and object snap tracking to position everything exactly the way it's positioned here. Okay? I want you to get as close as you think you can to this. Okay?
The whole page, right?
Yep, you're going to do this whole drawing. And that's why I had you save it, so you can pull it up in preview and you can zoom in and see what's going on. Okay? So detail counts here, spacing counts, like you want to try to use that, the snap and the tracking, to get things spaced apart as close as you think you can get to what I've done. Okay? If you need to, you can use erase to get rid of mistakes. But I don't want you to use the line command. I don't want you to use the circle command. I don't want you to use the right. You will not draw any of these lines. Every line that is in your drawing needs to have come from somewhere up here. You need a curvy line, go find a curvy line up here. You need a circle, find a circle up here and copy it down and move it, right? I don't want you to draw any lines. So you remember that one time when I said, you're going to draw all these symbols once in your life and then never draw them again? You're starting to see why. Eventually, you're not going to use this one. You're going to have your own template that has symbols that you have drawn, that have all the layers the way you like it, and the spacing is the way you like it, and everything's just right. And you will draw that once and make it perfect, and then that is the last time in your life you will ever have to draw that symbol ever again, because you are just going to copy and paste it as many times as you want. You can extend and trim to make it whatever size you need, and the rest of your life you never have to draw it again. Okay, so you're starting to see how that workflow works. So when I said last week, yeah, in real life I could have done that drawing in minutes, now you see how, right? It takes minutes to do it. Sam, what do you think?
I was just gonna say, could I use the pages themselves to get lines? If I wanted like a really long line, could I use the edge of each of those pages?
Yeah, you'd have to copy it and then explode it though.
Okay.
As long as it comes from up here, it's fine.
Okay.
I just don't want you to draw any lines.
Okay.
So do the colors matter then?
No, because you don't know what the colors are. I mean, I'm giving the source drawing I'm giving you is in monochrome, but making a line bigger is really easy. You just extend it, right? So it's really just look at, like, do I need a horizontal line or do I need a vertical line? Do I need a diagonal line? Do I need a curvy line? It doesn't really matter. Just go get the shape you need, and then you can make it longer or taller by extending and whatever you got to do. But that's the project. Other questions? Do next Thursday. You can start working on it. Okay? Yes. Oh, let me stop my recording.